Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVDA Daily Analysis. NVIDIA price movement still shows volatility. In this video, we'll evaluate how NVIDIA can move tomorrow and early next week using fundamentals and technical charts. Now, let's get started. Starting with the daily summary, NVIDIA opened at 105.41. It made a high of 113.27. It made a low 104.12 and it closed at 106.21. That is 1.66% down. If you take a look Nvidia chart for today, Nvidia tried to make some recovery in the morning as we expected in our previous video, but it could not sustain it and it came down in the afternoon. So volatility is still there with Nvidia, but in my opinion, we should not be worried too much about Nvidia. So I still think that Nvidia should do some recovery next week, if not tomorrow, because fundamentals regarding Nvidia has not changed much from last week. And it's not just Nvidia. The overall market was under pressure today. Let's take a look at S&P. S&P was down about 0.16, but also you can notice the volatility, ups and down, ups and down. Also Nasdaq, you see, and Nasdaq is down about 0.30%, but the volatility is still there, ups and down. But interestingly, Dow Jones was positive today, but the volatility is still there with Dow Jones as well, ups and down, right? I guess market is still cautious today before the job data and the employment data tomorrow and day after tomorrow. And I think Fed should intervene and start doing the rate cut as soon as possible rather than wait for the FOMC meeting. That's my opinion. And that's the only way to get rid of this volatility in the market. Another good thing with Nvidia is most of the analysts still think Nvidia is a buy or a strong buy, and they have not reduced the price targets for Nvidia. Let's take a look. So if you take a look this table, so Wedbush price target as of this point is 138, Piper Sandler 140, Sanford 155, benchmark 170. And if you scroll down, you see JP Morgan 155, Morgan Stanley 150, and so on. So most of the price targets range between 140 and 150. And I know price targets from analysts do not mean much, but still it gives overall understanding from analysts regarding Nvidia. So there is no sign of panic I see from the big investors at this point. Looking at the economic calendar for this week and early next week, we see that tomorrow we have ADP employment and weekly initial jobless claim. So the expectation is 140K, the employment data, the jobless claim is 225K. The last week was 231K, so slightly going down, and that's a good sign. But I'm guessing the actuals tomorrow should not come higher than the forecast. And also, in case of the employment, 140K versus 122K last cycle. So employment numbers going up a little bit, and that's a good sign. And that will be interesting to see if the actuals come higher than the forecast or not. In my understanding, it may not be. On Friday, we have the US employment report and US unemployment rate, and those two data are also important. So, based on the employment report, the employment is expected to go up 161K versus 114K, and also the unemployment rate expected to go down. And that's also a good sign. So if the actuals beats those numbers, that will be a good sign for the market on Friday. And for next week on Monday, nothing much. And Tuesday, also, I do not see any big data coming. And Wednesday, we have the CPI. And Thursday, we have the PPI data. And those are very important. Now, let's take a look some news regarding NVIDIA. Starting with this one that says NVIDIA has not received any subpoena by Department of Justice. So that's a good sign for NVIDIA. So NVIDIA clarified that they did not receive any subpoena. Another one that says NVIDIA's stock volatility is the price you pay for market leading returns. So I have the similar opinion. The volatility at this time may not continue for so long, and around 100 would be a good buy for Nvidia. And still 106 or 105, not a bad buy point if somebody wants to keep Nvidia for some time. Now let's take a look. This one that says Nvidia's stock ends lower, but these two factors could reignite momentum. Let's open it. It talks about the subpoena that Nvidia clarified that they did not receive any, and that's one good thing. And let's scroll down further. So another one, and that talks about the Blackwell chip. And as I mentioned yesterday, that will be a big thing if Nvidia do not miss the dates. Mr. Jensen is positive about that, but I'm still not sure. So they're talking about the Blackwell chip line that they seemingly forgot to think about the margin impact of fixing it. So market is expecting the gross margin to go up and Nvidia should recover. And the Blackwell can help Nvidia doing it in Q3 and Q4. And they also mentioned the same thing that says Blackwell is driving overall margins up again. The stock is likely to follow in the first half of calendar 2025. So they're expecting a jump on Nvidia stock price sometime in Q1 2025. And this one is interesting. I would like to comment on this one in the comment section. It says, like last year, at this time, investors are questioning whether 2025 is now the peak AI investment year because they cannot see enough AI adoption. What do you think about it? Do you think in 2025 we should hit the peak of AI and no further AI adoption growth you see? I would like to see your opinion. And this one is slight negative about Nvidia, and that says Nvidia's shocking $279 billion market value loss is just the tip of the iceberg, as stock performance hints at unpredictable future. So they think that Nvidia has some unpredictability regarding its future growth and earnings. So there is nothing much different from yesterday regarding news about Nvidia. Now let's take a look at technical charts. You see 90 days hourly interval chart for Nvidia and also MACD chart. As I mentioned yesterday, based on the technical charts, Nvidia looked under pressure and the momentum was negative. So I had an opinion yesterday that today Nvidia should go down as well based on the technical chart. So I was probably right. Today Nvidia went down. And at this point, you see that Nvidia is trying to recover a little bit. So tomorrow I see some recovery on Nvidia. Not much, but at least a little bit. And regarding the Fibonacci levels, I still see the next level of support is around 103. As you see that Nvidia went down, but at this point Nvidia was not able to go further down and break 103 level. And this level is a strong support level. And on the higher side, we have the resistance at 110, and after that is 118, and then further 126. So until and unless Nvidia beats 126 resistance level, I won't believe that Nvidia got the positive, strong momentum, right? So this has to break 126. And on the lower side, we have another support that is 93.86. And based on my comments yesterday, this is a very strong support level because multiple times in the past, Nvidia tried to break it, but it could not. Now let's take a look other AI stocks. So today in my watch list, the highest negative change is on SMCI, that is 4.14% down, and the highest positive is on AMD, 2.87% up. So overall, AI stocks are under pressure today, but situation might change early next week. So that's all about my analysis and assessment for tomorrow and early next week. And I still think that this is a short-term headwind for Nvidia and at the same time a good buy opportunity. So if somebody has some money, may take a risk of buying Nvidia at this point and hold it for some time. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more tomorrow. Take care.